Parents of Reddit, what's the worst best thing about having kids? The worst best thing is having your whole heart tied up in one fragile human being. Everything bad they go through hurts your heart, and everything good they go through makes your heart swell. When you think about something horrible happening to them, you're contemplating heartbreak for life, but you have to let them risk being in the world. Yet that whole heart walking outside my body thing can at times nearly drop me to my knees, and it doesn't change with age of your child either. Sometimes at dinner I look at my wife and kids and just think that all three of them have peed on me. My girlfriend is 3mo pregnant and this thought amused me to no end. Have a nugget. We were sitting at the dining room table when my then 5-year-old daughter sheepishly glanced at us and out of nowhere uttered, "God damn it." It was hard not to laugh. Kids are like turtles when they're born. They don't do anything and just look at you. Then they're like dogs. They listen and are happy to see you and like to play but can't talk. Then comes the parrot stage. They repeat rings but don't know why or what it means. They are inquisitive and just do stupid crap cause they can. Next hit the monkey stage. They break your shot and spill drinks but they are so adorable it hurts. My kid sings songs from the radio and the way he says his R is cute. He's a pain sometimes but he generally takes care of himself. After that they're normal humans. Being a dad is badass. You forgot the cat stage where they freaking hate you. Some of these responses seem a little serious, so here's a bit of a lighter one. My daughter, 14 months old, loves to share with me. Loves it. She is constantly giving me things of hers, handing me Jenga blocks, Lego pieces, showing me a sock she found and shoving it in my face. I think this desire to share is great and I encourage it. So generous. How does this backfire? Yesterday, she walked all the way across 2 rooms to give me a goldfish cracker. And for a baby that small, walking across 2 rooms is like running a marathon. As soon as she put the goldfish in my mouth, I knew that it had already been in her mouth first. It wasn't salty anymore, and the texture was off, like it was already being broken down by someone else's saliva. So that's parenthood for you. Your kids will love you unconditionally and will be desperate to please you. But their version of pleasing you involves putting a pre-eaten goldfish cracker into your mouth. And then you have to thank them for it. But damn it, do I ever love that kid. Plus, I made her with my body, so I'm not that concerned about ingesting her saliva. Lately, my daughter is planning random parties at random times complete with invitations, banners, and activities. After a day at work that taxes my brain and body, coming home to receiving a folded piece of paper with an invitation to a random party set up in the living room for no particular reason helps me to completely shake off everything negative about the day. I love it. Other parents. When you sign your children up for activities or sports, then you inevitably will have to deal with other children's parents who will try to brag, boast and lie about their children as if it's some sort of contest. Even if you don't take place in those conversations, you will still have to sit through them as you wait for your child to finish their activity. Occasionally some of them will try to enter your personal life by setting up playdates where, you guessed it, you have to sit through a one-on-one with the braggers until your children are through playing. Other parents can be awful. I have to say that in my experience, dance moms are the worst. Everything is a competition with them and most of the kids are brats. My daughter left dance for gymnastics and the moms are slightly better. Slightly. My son is 5. Right now, I am the greatest superhero in the universe. I can kick Megatron's butt, regularly rescue the Power Rangers, know all about Thomas's schedule and can keep those pissant trucks in line with barely a look. I can do magic. Real magic. Lights can go on with a gesture. Traffic lights bend to my will. All sorts of things disappear and reappear by my hand when and where I want them to. I can turn him invisible. Literally invisible to the point where he can impishly run around the parlor sneakily tickling adults who can't see him. I know everything, whether it's quoting Calvin and Hobbes about bridge strength or quickly doing math that makes his head spin, to knowing exactly what he was up to. I am, to him, the embodiment of omnipotence. There is nothing I can't fix, nothing I can't build, whether it's a day project turning shipping boxes into race cars or rockets, taking him to the shop to build a real wooden toy, or simply reattaching an errant head to a damaged bot. I have infinite power to repair. There is supreme joy to be found in creating a wondrous world around him filled with the mythology, mystery and sublime delight of childhood. It is symbiotically euphoric, but all too soon, he will grow up, my powers will fade, my fallibility will show. Little by little, he will learn that I am human. At night, the prospect threatens to make me weep, but then I remember that no matter what, I'll always be dad. When my middle son, 10, was 4, he had a bad cold. I am a very light sleeper, and when he would cough in the night, it would wake me. Often, just letting him sit up for a few minutes would help clear the drainage so he could sleep for a couple more hours. We often did this 2 to 3 times a night. 4 2-hour naps doesn't make a good night's sleep. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Mom and I had already put out the presents, not so eagerly awaiting the 6 AM jumping and screaming. Jacob woke up coughing at 3 AM. I got him and brought him to sit in the living room. He could see shapes of the gifts under the dark Christmas tree. He whispered, "Santa came." I plugged in the tree so he could see the presents. I can still see the wonder in his eyes as the multicolored lights from the tree shone on his face. I got weepy then, and I still get weepy today when I think about it. Spending the first 2 years teaching them to stand up and talk, and the next 16 yelling at them to sit down and shut up. It makes me sick when I hear about people yelling at their kids to sit down and shut up. Beating them into submission is far more effective. Your child being totally dependent on you is both a curse and a blessing. It feels fantastic, but sometimes you just want to relax, and I can't always find that mindset over all the worrying I do. Best, playing with my 18-month-old daughter on the floor of a room, acting silly with her toys, and getting her to laugh. Worst, playing with my 18-month-old daughter on the floor of a room, acting silly with her toys, and getting her to laugh, over and over and over, for the next hour, and if you stop, she'll be upset. I never realized how exhausting playing doctor for the 1000th time could be. I could have become an actual doctor by now. How creepy kids can be. Think about it. There's a reason horror movies always use children. Yet, when you wake up in the middle of the night to a 5-year-old face looming inches away from yours because they need a glass of water, what do you want? Tiny Satan. I, too, copy things I read online for karma. I told my 4-year-old the other day to put her hood up. I said, "Put up your hood, assassin." "No daddy, I'm not too cold. It will be harder for your enemies to detect you." Okay, up goes hood. I love my youngling. I pray to have a child this willing to placate her dad. My kid's only a year old, but so far, the absolute best is her total joy for life. Dad walked in the room, the cat jumped into your crib. Cheese is delicious. I don't think someone giving me $1 million would make me as happy as such mundane things make her, but her happiness does. And the hugs. Having someone throw themselves wholeheartedly into your arms just because you're you. I could be puppy kicking angry, and a hug from her will melt my heart. And I get like 20 a day. The worst in the moment is seeing her in genuine pain, illness, and being helpless to fix it. Holding her while she had a stomach bug and threw up all night was enough to make me want to weep because she was so tiny and defenseless and miserable. And I couldn't even explain that it would pass. I also worry about the world she will live in as an adult because of things like global warming and the finite amount of fossil fuels. I can teach her the interpersonal skills to cope with what society throws at her, but how am I supposed to prepare her for that kind of thing? Projectile pooping and blown out diapers. Not being able to have nice things because 1. Kids are frickin' expensive, and 2. They can and will break anything. When I come home, my kids are genuinely happy and excited to see me. Can't beat that feeling. Bye bye $500,000. Being a parent and trying to teach your kids the right thing. If you frick up, you frick your child up. Kids are like pancakes. You always frick the first one up. You have to take your children out in public to teach them how to behave in public. You're left choosing between standing your ground and finishing your errands with your screaming child, or retreating and saving the errand for another time. The first option makes everyone in the store, restaurant, whatever hate you, but you teach your child that sometimes life sucks and you have to do things you don't want to do. The second option makes everyone around you happy, but you're now stressed and overwhelmed because your task was incomplete, especially if that task was picking up groceries to feed the screaming child. In the end, you still teach the child a lesson, which is if you can't behave in public, you don't get to go out in public. It's never an easy decision. One of the worst things is not having your own schedule. Your life is now dominated by the children. No more drunken Monday nights. Little Susie has piano practice. No more drunken Tuesday nights. Little Johnny has violin practice. No more drunken Wednesday nights. Little Susie has softball. No more drunken Thursday nights. Little Johnny has hockey. No more drunken Friday nights. Daddy has a bad liver from all of the drunken nights he had that led to the birth of these horrible little children. But really, your life gets dominated by activities. You start hanging out with other married with children people not because you've outgrown your old friends without kids, but because they go to the same events as you and you can commiserate and turn all of those nights into drunken nights again by spiking the Capri Suns. The best thing though is to see that development. To see what all these activities are doing to shape your child. I mean, I used to get excited to see my characters level up, to see them wielding more powerful weapons and taking on more dangerous creatures. Now I can do this with real humans are outside for real. Yeah, at first little Susie and little Johnny are equipped with softball bats and hockey sticks, but in a couple of years, they'll graduate to shivs, and then to machetes, then to automatic rifles. Seeing growth and having an active hand in it is amazing. I honestly can't tell if you actually have children. Best, kids are a lot of fun, and don't let anyone tell you they aren't. Their little antics are hilarious. Cuddles are amazing and the amount of love you feel for them, and I was not a OMG kids type of person before, is overwhelming sometimes. I've never experienced anything like it and it's something that everyone should. There's nothing purer in the world. The worst, most soul-crushingly, despair-inducing sound in the known universe is that of an infant being sick in its bed. Snuggling. It feels awesome. All that love coming your way. So much love. So many hugs. Hand-holding and hanging on you. There comes a moment when if one more person touches you, hangs on you, clings to you, you will start screaming and not be able to stop. Often, the hubby bears the brunt. Because I put the kids to bed and then he wants to snuggle and I need a few hours without having my personal space person invaded. Best, watching her experience the world. Worst, the fear that the same world will eat her up. There's been sleepless nights at times knowing I cannot protect her from everything. That is the worst part about being a parent. You know at some point your child will be in pain and there may not be anything you can do about it. It's the parent's job to try to prepare their kids as much as possible for future problems. Making them learn how to handle responsibilities and try to solve their own problems really help when they are alone facing the world. Lack of free time. There's plenty of random things I want to do around my house. Tuck in a wire that's hanging from the laundry room. Fix a hole in my drywall. Clean out my grill, etc. Or just man time. Have a cigar. Go the gym. Go for a hike. That I can't do because one has rehearsal, another has practice, the other has therapy, and the baby has a fever. Free time has to be scheduled and is subject to cancellation. This is by far the worst aspect for me. You have no time. The smell. That indeed, sauce, was drafted into being a kid. Mom x 3 children, 6 and 7 years old. Dad is right there. Goddammit. Ask him. Let me pee in peace. Dad, I dunno. Go ask your mother. It's so fun to watch her little brain develop. She says the funniest, craziest, most interesting things. I love to hear what she thinks about things. On the other hand, she never shuts up. Seriously, she talks from the moment her eyes open until she falls unconscious at night. The constant stream of why, each coming faster than I could possibly answer. She never stops to hear the answers. She just keeps narrating every single thought that passes through her little 4-year-old brain. I feel bad because sometimes she notices and says, "Daddy, you look like you don't want to hear what I'm saying." I do, honey, I do. Just not all the time. They grow up so quickly. My wife and I just had our first baby who is now 5 weeks old. For me, taking care of the baby isn't the hard part, it's taking care of the mom of the baby. The baby to me is this little black box with like a dozen switches, and I just have to fiddle with the switches until the light goes green. The mom, however, is not in a good place. Women really get a raw deal in the whole childbirth thing. Not only do they undergo the labor, which is as bad as people say, immediately after it's 24/7 take care of kid mode, they don't even get a couple days to catch their breath. My wife hasn't had more than 3 hours of consecutive sleep in 5 weeks, so my job is to handle everything but the baby, plus often take care of the baby, and talk her off the ledge at the end of the day when she is completely frazzled. Not fun, but we love this little guy so much it's definitely worth it. It seems that the 6-week mark is a good milestone in recovery and baby development. Hang in there, especially mama, and things should be getting easier. The worst best thing for me is that I have these little people that I love so completely that every little hurt and disappointment they have is felt tenfold by me. They break my heart every day. Whether it's a stoic trip to the dentist or a bad day at school, I want to take all their pain away and I can't. It is the best worst feeling in the world. Every night when I put him to sleep I'm sick and tired of him. I can't wait for him to go to sleep. Every morning when I wake up I can't wait to see him. He is so cool. Having a kid is such a roller coaster ride. They grow up and move out. It's the best because it means you did your job right and you get some of your free time back. It's the worst because, well, you did your job right and you love them and now you miss them, and they barely call, and it sucks. Father of 3.5-year-old daughter here. The best is when they get sick. Their voices get all cute. My daughter right now sounds like a 50-year-old smoker. She has a bad cold. They also lose all their energy and just want to snuggle and read books. She also gets way too impressed with the fact that she gets to take cough drops and thinks it's so amazing that they help her or little throat feel better. It also feels really good to take care of someone so innocent, who is so thankful for being cared for. Here's to wishing I wasn't at work and home with my baby. Worst is the ever-present feeling that your entire world is one accident or evil human away from being completely and utterly destroyed. The best? Well, that's hard to say. In the first few years, you're the entire world of another person. They look at you like a superhero, not just ignoring your flaws, straight up not knowing the flaws exist. There is also something totally amazing about seeing a child explore the world. The things we take for granted, as they figure them out they bring a new sense of wonder and joy to your life. All told, there's nothing on the bad side that is even remotely close to being as bad as the good stuff is good. It's not even a fair fight. My years with my 2 kids have been the best of my life by far. Wouldn't trade it for anything. The biggest thing, to me, is that you never really get a break. If you feel like death run over, you still have to get your butt up and make sure your kid is taken care of, and it's never ending. Just last night the last thing I did at 11 o'clock before I went to bed was make my daughter's lunch. Another big thing for me is that you never realize how much crap is involved until it's time to deal with it. Never, ever, ever when I was pregnant did I think about activities, daily homework, projects, friends' birthday parties, fundraisers and all that crap. All of that aside, it really, honestly is the coolest thing ever watching a tiny human grow. I lost my crap when she started walking and talking, and I lost my crap a few days ago when I saw that she had an adult tooth coming in. It's crazy. For me, it's that I love someone so much that, should he die, I would probably kill myself. Crap everywhere, like literal crap. They'll touch crap, try to hide crap, lie about crap, and you have to give them crap until they put crap in its proper place. Kids represent something in your heart that isn't unlocked until you have them. People without kids can't comprehend the energy being a parent requires or where parents get said energy. Not a moment goes by that I don't think about my daughter or son, 7 and 3, and somehow I can manage to hold multiple jobs, excel at them, and still be energized the moment I see them. I love being a dad. In kindergarten, all the students in my daughter's class were asked what your dad's superpower was. My daughter said my superpower was love. I win. Forever. When they do better at something than you ever did, it's the best because you're proud of them, but there's that little ding of jealousy, maybe even a feeling that you might have peaked, that someone else is going to become the main character in the movie that is your life and you won't be anymore. Realizing way too late the things you screwed up when raising them. They pick up on so much that you did not intend to teach them. I am a very take care of things myself kind of person. When things happen I jump in and take care of them without saying anything. I did not realize my kids knew when I fixed things behind the scenes without mentioning it until my son got in a situation because he did not bring anyone else in to help. He thought that a real man took care of things without help because he never saw any help I did get. After that I had to sit everyone down and talk to them about how I get help on things that they never know about because I have no reason to tell them about every time I get help on something. And I had to make sure they understood to come ask for help before they get in too far. Worst best thing, your hopes and desires die a small death from time to time. You of course want the best for your child. You want him or her to grow up to be a giant among men, go to Harvard, become a doctor or be a president, cure cancer, solve world hunger, set up peace for all, and live in adoration of all who meet him or her. Sooner or later, you realize that some of that probably won't come true. You were convinced you had a prodigy when the kid accidentally spelled a word with the blocks, or when a doodle sorta kinda resembled a giraffe, but now he's 2 months behind her peers in reading, or she's been drawing the same fat pregnant giraffe for past 3 years. So you adjust a little bit, and then you realize it's really your overinflation and naivete, and not that there's anything wrong with your kid. Things your kids do well, and not so well, they are just a part of them, what make them unique and special. So my kids are well past the age when Mozart composed his first piece. They haven't shown a prodigious talent for anything specific as of yet, but they're still my kids. They still do things that amaze and delight me, so maybe they won't come up with a plan for peace among all religions. Maybe they'll just be great adult with great kids. I'll be as proud and happy. Just don't get knocked up or knock someone up before, you know, some sort of commitment and the ability to back it up. Loving someone so much you can't even comprehend it. It's amazing loving someone so much. A lot of fear and worry comes with feelings this strong. I'm constantly worried about my daughter. She's only 10 months old and I've already had to break down and cry panic attacks. I can't have nice things anymore. They'll just break them. They're too freaking loud, it hurts my ears. I am constantly repeating myself. Really, I should just record myself one day, keep it on a speaker and press play when I bring them home after work. I have zero privacy. I can't even crap in my toilet for 5 seconds without one of my boys coming in to play 20 questions about the dinner they'll eventually refuse to eat but had asked to be made for them. I have to be a negotiator, a janitor, a personal assistant, entertainer, repairman, diplomat, playmate, teacher, jailer, cook, librarian, maid, usher, barber, drill sergeant, counselor and chauffeur all at the same time. I have to wait until they go to bed before I can have any time with their mother or to just watch a movie on my TV. Before that, I have to watch what they watch, and I would never trade them for any of those things. They are not just my life, they are a part of me, literally a physical part, my genetics that make me. I guess that's both the best and the worst because I can never get rid of their mess. My stepdaughters just turned 13 and 16. They are hormonal and insane. Pray for me. I'm not a parent, but my sister and I are very close and I spend a lot of time with her and my nephew. The best thing ever is when he uses swears in hilarious contexts. Nothing is better than him getting something done well and being like, oh crap, yeah, in his adorable little kid voice, weird broken accent. Some of the things that come out of his mouth are hilarious. The other day my mother was watching him and they were on a full elevator in the condo, and he turns to her and says, "Hey Baba." Guess what she says? "What?" And he goes, "I farted 10 times at Olivia's house." Apparently my mom was crazy embarrassed, but she said everyone on the elevator was dying laughing. Reasons I'm never having kids. Getting up early. I'm still not used to having my night end at 6 AM. Naps have become my friend. Tax credits. Daughter's birthday is the 31st of December. I call her my tax credit baby. You have been visited by the Source Chihuahua. You will be blessed with good pasta, but only if you comment simmer well. Papa simmer well papa. Like and subscribe, you magnificent person.